What's up guys, Hayden here. Today we are working on the LS swapped Ford Falcon. Today I'm going to be making the throttle cable bracket for this. I haven't made it yet. Just ordered like a custom, I believe 36-inch throttle cable for it. And I also did just order just this morning actually. I just ordered the intercooler piping and all the material I needed to do the air to water setup on this. So today the goal is to mount the air to water intercooler, obviously make the throttle cable bracket. That's what I'll be doing first thing this morning, is making the throttle cable bracket, mount the heat exchanger for the air to water setup. That's actually going to be going below the radiator at kind of an angle underneath the car. And then if I do get all that done today, I gotta go to Lowe's, get a 5-gallon bucket and drain the gas tank, because the fuel in this thing is so old that it smells like varnish, and it doesn't even, and that's kind of why it runs like shit too, is because it is on pump gas, and this fuel's been sitting in that tank for probably like a year and a half, and it hasn't ever been ran. So obviously we are going to be draining that, putting E85 back in it. It is going to be an E85 car, of course. Anyways, let's get started on this Falcon. I will show you guys kind of the concept or the idea I have for this throttle cable bracket. It might be kind of hard to hold it, but I'll try and show you guys what I'm doing before I actually build it. So this is the general idea. This plate is very crude. I'm not done with it yet. I'm gonna go ahead and round these and make this plate look a lot nicer once I'm done. But I want to mount the throttle cable right in here somewhere, and that should work really well. So the idea is I'm gonna take this plate that I've somewhat bent, and I'm going to put it down there and then make a piece that comes off of it that actually holds the throttle cable. So been working on that, started on it last night, gonna go and finish it really quick. Before I do that, I'm gonna take this plate off, round it, make it look a lot nicer so that way it's not a big eyesore up here. Should work really well. I already have it mounted on the firewall back here. Super simple to do, real easy. The pedal, it's already attached to the pedal also, so gonna go ahead, get started on that bracket, and then show you guys once it's done. Check it out. This actually didn't take me too long to do. I'm pretty surprised at how nice it came out. Really happy with how it looks. Obviously real simple, real crude. This piece up here is welded. This is just tacked for now. I was just double checking it and making sure that it actually works. Really happy with that. And now we can actually drive it around. If I get some E85 in it. So today is Thursday. Derek will be up here tomorrow night. If I get some E85 in it, we could actually probably tune it a little bit and get it to where it runs and drives around the parking lot really nicely, doesn't have any weird little issues. So it'll be nice actually having a throttle cable on this. I can back it out by myself. I can actually move it around without having to push it. This thing is a pain to push because it has a spool in it. It literally, like, trying to push it by myself, I just slip on the shop floor because I can't move it whenever I try to turn it just a little bit. Really excited with how that came out, really happy with it. So I'm gonna weld that little piece, let it cool down, bolt it all back up, and then move on to the next thing. I had to take the intake manifold off to get to this oil pressure sensor that's back here. Got that. I actually had to end up, I thought I had the socket for this, but I had to end up going to O'Reilly's to get this socket that actually goes on the new sensor. So right now, it needs a new sensor because even when they first brought the car with the motor in it before I pulled it, there wasn't an oil pressure sensor on it. Like, it just maxed the gauge out, so didn't actually have a reading. I didn't even think about it until we set it all up and started it on the Holly, and the oil pressure was just maxed out on the dash on the inside. So yeah, go ahead, replace that real quick, put the intake manifold back on, and as you can see, got the intake manifold back on, got everything all mounted back up, and everything needs to be on there. Also, I did put this 3-bar map sensor on there, so should be good on the map sensor for now. Next thing I'm going to do is wire in this AEM fuel pressure sensor. I had them go with this, that way the tune is always good, and it actually will be a safety precaution just in case if they lose fuel pressure, the car will actually like put it in a limbo mode and not allow it to, what do you want? Not allow it to blow up. So anyways, just have to extend this a little bit, solder some new ends on this because it doesn't go long enough. Take this actual mechanical gauge out and just thread this one back in, and then it'll be good on that.
Why don't you put that in the rail and then keep that one there?
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
So got this sensor in, the fuel pressure sensor in. Dude, shut up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and, I got the throttle cable all bolted up, got the bracket all on there, came out pretty good, got it painted, rounded the corners on it since Wyatt said it looked like, but yeah, as you can see, this is spaced out a little too far right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this belt off and I'm gonna belt sand a washer a little bit, but it just needs just a little bit. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and then see kind of how it's still rubbing on this pulley or see what it's doing with this pulley. So I did get this spacer made. I don't know if you'll really be able to see it, but it's just that little spacer right there. And I did have Wyatt crank it over and I watched this. It actually looks like it is going straight now. Pretty happy about that. We'll be starting it up later today to actually check the belt stuff. What I'm hoping for is tonight we'll actually drive to the gas station and put E85 in it instead of draining the tank. Derek will be coming down today a little bit early so he can adjust the tune. It does have a 3-bar map sensor in it now, and it does have that fuel pressure sensor on it also, so he has to adjust the tune a little bit. I'm hoping the intercooler piping shows up today. It should, but I'm hoping that I can get the piping routed into the motor, so that way it should run and drive a lot better like that, and Derek can actually adjust the tune a decent amount, so that way it's not gonna be super far off from the dyno. So right now, after I got that spacer on there, now the next thing I'm gonna move on to is mounting this air to water setup. So I have it somewhat mocked up on there. I've checked the intercooler piping and how it routes, and it should go straight through here nice. It's just gonna come around here and just right back into the throttle body. Obviously, if today the intercooler piping shows up, I won't be doing the water lines yet. I just have this on there just to see kind of what it looks like and if it even fit like that and what fittings I actually needed. Just bought that from Lowe's, just a plastic fitting. So yeah, this is how it's gonna end up looking. Don't mind this clamp. I need to get a 2 3/4 clamp for this. Is a 3-inch clamp with a 3-inch coupler, like sandwiched in between the 2.5-inch coupler. So anyways, I am going to be mounting this right now. I am going to be mounting this down here to this bolt right here. So that way it's actually bolted up to the motor, so that way it flexes with the motor. This thing has solid mounts in it, so I don't think it's actually gonna flex all that much, but just in case if it does. And then I also will be going to this little, let me see if I can show you guys. This thing right here, this little piece right here, it is threaded down in there. I'll be going to that right there, and then it should be pretty strong. This thing doesn't weigh much. I mean, even with just the coupler on it, it's pretty, I mean, obviously it'd bounce around, but with 2 little mounts in it, this thing won't go anywhere. So no issues with that. Really excited. I'm really hoping that we have no issues with it and we can drive it to the gas station. I obviously have a lot of stuff to do today. I need to double check the fluids, put a little bit of coolant in it, mount the seats back up since Wyatt took them out. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's mount this thing up real quick. So I did get the 2 mounts on the air to water setup. That one down there, obviously nice and easy. It's just tacked right now. And then also this one on this backside over here. Just a bolt with a nut through it. Now, okay. So I didn't mention it in the last clip. And I imagine there's a couple people who are like, oh dude, how are you gonna, once you put this intercooler pipe on here, how are you gonna put oil in it? And how are you gonna check the dipstick and the oil level? And because you can't get to the dipstick. Well, so we have a bendable dipstick on here. I can actually get to it underneath here. So like I wouldn't have to actually, like I can pull it all the way out and it's right here. So obviously I'd have to fish it back in. Kind of a pain. So as you can see, I can still get the dipstick out. It is a pain to probably put it back in. You're gonna have to feel it. I'm not really too worried about it. That's something that's really easy to work around. Now the oil. So obviously this thing will probably, this thing is hardly gonna get drove. It's gonna get drove a decent amount, but not a bunch. So oil change will probably happen like maybe every couple months, and it's really only gonna get driven during the summertime anyways. So removing one intercooler pipe to put oil in the motor isn't a big deal to me. That's something really easy. It'll literally be 2 clamps and the pipe. So that's something really easy. I'm not worried about that at all. The only thing I don't like is a dipstick being down there, but that's also very simple with that bendable dipstick. Now, accessing the headers or doing plugs in it, obviously that's gonna be a pain. So you'd have to take the air to water out, and then obviously I'll leave extra length on the line so you can take the air to water and move it off to the side so you don't actually have to take any of the water out or drain the air to water setup or anything like that. Now, how often do you replace plugs on this? Probably not gonna be very often. This thing is basically a race car. It's not a daily driver. It could be used as a daily driver, but it's not a daily driver. So obviously, servicing anything on that side is gonna be a little bit harder, but it's something that I'm willing to sacrifice to put there to water right there and to make that intercooler pipe super short. So this blower is really little and it's not rated. I don't even think it's rated to have an intercooler on it. It's made to run straight from the charger to the throttle body on the Fox body setups. So I don't want to add extra piping when this thing might have like a huge drop in pressure or air. So just wanted to address that real quick. I'm sure some people were like, oh, what's going on? Like, did you even think about that before you mounted it there? And of course I thought about it before I mounted it there, and I'm fine with having it like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, unbolt this, weld it all up, and then put it back on. And hopefully the intercooler piping will show up real soon, so we can get the intercooler piping done and then move on to hopefully mounting the heat exchanger down below. So yeah, let's get to it. I did go ahead and get this mounted up. It's pretty sturdy, doesn't go anywhere. Happy with how good that is. Now I don't think the intercooler piping is gonna show up today, so I am gonna go ahead and move on to mounting this heat exchanger down below. So it is gonna go down here underneath the bottom side of the radiator. I'm gonna angle it just a little bit so hopefully it catches some air. If we can fit some fans on it, I will put some fans on it, but I'm not sure if fans will fit on it. So go ahead, get it all jacked up, and then figure out how I'm gonna mount this and where I'm gonna put it. So, but anyways, I got the heat exchanger all mounted up. I welded these two bars to the front crossmember. Just bolted up here, nice and easy. Doesn't go anywhere. These tabs just slide into the radiator crossmember, so it works really nice. Oh, yeah, happy with how it came out. It is angled down just a little bit, so we're gonna be doing some testing on it to see what the intake air temps are. If they do get a little hot, we will end up putting some fans on it. But for now, we're gonna rock it like that and see if it gets enough airflow. And also, Derek is here. Wyatt's over here working on this yee redneck truck. But, so, got it jacked up right now. Got the seats back in it. Derek did adjust the tune for all the stuff that we changed, so we're gonna go ahead, put it back on the ground, and start it.
Fume out the garage.
Yep, and yeah, says the dude, look at you right now. You look like an Einstein. How do I twerk? Oh my gosh. But yeah, so we're gonna go take it to the gas station, put some 85 in it, and hopefully it doesn't break down. If it breaks down, I'm blaming Wyatt.
Fuck you.
I know.
Oh, all right, so hopefully you guys can hear me. We're on our way to get some E85. We drove around the parking lot a little bit. Pump the brakes to get them hard.
That's probably not good. Did you guys ever bleed them?
I haven't touched the brakes. I don't know who bled them. Someone bled them because they do work.
If you were worried about them, you probably should have bled them.
They probably should have.
Yeah. 1700, that's not bad at all.
You know what I just realized too? When we went out the driveway, it's really steep, we didn't hit the oil pan.
That's true. That's a good thing.
And it's super low.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised when you took the risk of going.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I didn't think you were
I'm so worried about this thing driving, I didn't even think about the oil pan. Sounds like something's breaking.
Oh, well, not the oil pan.
Are you sure it was the oil pan?
Yeah. Motor would have shut off by now.
By now?
Yeah.
No.
After you just shattered the oil pan? Yeah, things happen like that.
Well, we made it. It only got, that's the highest it got was 172 degrees.
Let's see what we just hit, or what it just felt like.
Yeah, I probably should shut it off.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have a trail of oil behind us, so that's a positive thing.
Yeah. Just put E85 in. You can adjust the tune a little bit so that way it's not compensating so much fuel.
Yeah, we'll leave it somewhere in the middle, but yeah, so now we're back down to, oh, I put too much in. Oops.
It's really easy. I mean, the table that we were driving around with was fine for gas. So when we put the 85 in, it shouldn't like drastically change all over the place. It's just kind of a blanket 25%.
Yeah. It already smells better in here because they're not smelling that old gas.
Oh God, that was terrible.
That old gas smells so bad. But yeah, it took 7.8 gallons, so I'm not sure how big this fuel tank is, but it was definitely low on fuel, which makes me happy. So that way we got the majority of the old stuff out. Yep. So we're gonna adjust it a little bit and then go get some food. Well, we made it to Village Inn. It's a decent little test drive for it. So, surprised it made it. No issues.
You're surprised?
I am surprised, dude.
Why?
I had no faith in this thing. This thing hasn't been drove in almost 4 years, maybe longer.
Yeah.
So,
Did good.
yeah.
Sweet, so just got back from Eaton Village Inn in the Falcon. It did really good. Just had a couple issues. We do need to set up the overflow. Somehow lost this nipple, so I'll be waiting on that to come in. It'll be coming in soon, and then we'll hook the overflow up, and then hopefully we won't have any issues with pushing a little bit of coolant out of the overflow. Also, Derek noticed this. I didn't even notice it, but this tensioner is maxed out. So more than likely what I need to do is get a little bit smaller belt, and hopefully that'll fix our issues with it coming off and like riding either too far back or too far forward. I don't know if it's like getting loose when we rev it up a lot and then like decel on it. I don't know. So get a little bit smaller belt, hopefully try and fix that. But other than that, it ran really good. Obviously, got to do the intercooler piping and whatnot too, but pretty happy with how it is. Got to wire up the fan better, wire up the trans brake. There's some other stuff to do, but it does run and drive. I'm excited. We got the nasty gas out of it.
You got breakfast, filled it up with the 85.
So the brakes aren't the greatest in it. You have to like hit them once and like get some pressure built up. Then once you hit them again, they feel really stiff. So that's one weird thing too. I might check it out. Might just try and bleed them really quick and see if there's just a little bit of air in the system. But other than that, really happy with how it is and how far I got. So we are gonna start working on the Civic today. So it's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are ready for this. I can do some burnouts and some launches and get it on the dyno and get it tuned with some boost on this charger. You guys should be looking forward to that. And as always guys, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Be sure to like, comment down below. And then, yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next time in the Civic video. So until next time guys, see ya.